seated at all times. Keep your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside of the truck. You do have an animal spotting guide above your head. That'll give you a good resource to identify some of the animals we might see out there. And another reminder, we are entering into these animals' homes. Let's be respectful, keep our voices down just a little bit, but we will see what we can find. Alrighty, friends. We are going to be entering into the Little Ituri Forest, home to some animals that are more shy, more difficult to find at times because they do have camouflage that allows them to blend in. My friends, please sit down. Please sit. Thank you. Now, as I round this corner here, I do see a couple animals on your right-hand side. Those animals with the black and white stripes on their legs are okapis. Okapis are related to the giraffe. They look like they might be related to a zebra, but those black and white marks don't mean they're related to the zebra. They have long tongues that help them reach out, grab vegetation off of trees. Now these animals up on the hill there, those horns on their head, those are bongos. Bongos are the ghosts of the forest. Those horns are leaned back slightly, just enough to help them get through the thick vegetation of the forest. Another animal we're passing by here, this tan animal here on your right-hand side, that is a kudu, a greater kudu. And we can tell that those are females because they have an absence of horns on their head. Solitary, they don't travel with others, but that's also due to poaching. Black rhinos, there's only about 5,000 of them or so left in the world. It's way on the hill up there, hard to see. But this black and white bird here, we are passing that as a saddle-billed stork. Saddle-billed storks have a piece of yellow on their bill that kind of looks like a saddle, hence their name. Blanca. Now, like I mentioned, this area, home to a lot of animals that call the forest their home. A way that we can help protect forests for many years to come is by limiting our use of paper products. Less paper means less trees cut down, leading more habitat for these animals. Now we are headed out of the Little Ituri Forest, and we are going to be entering into the Zafi River. Now the Zafi River, as its name might imply, has a lot of water. We might find animals at the surface, underneath the water, not quite sure. So we'll keep our eyes out on the left and right hand sides of the truck. But I do see an animal as we come down this hill moving in the water. It's going to be a couple of Nile hippos. Now hippos do spend most of their time in the water. They can hold their breath for up to 8 minutes before they have to come up for another breath of air. When you might find a hippo out on land. Now these birds out here on the island, these are pink-backed pelicans. They get that pink color from during mating season when they turn a pink color, almost like they're blushing. Now we're going to be coming around this corner, and on the left there's going to be a pretty dangerous animal. It's going to be a Nile crocodile. Nile crocodiles are very good predators. They have very powerful jaws that they use to capture their prey. They're also known as ambush predators. And my friends, please remain seated. Do not stand. Just keep your butts on the seat. Now sometimes you might find crocodiles out on land, and that is to stay warm. Crocodiles are reptiles, which means they are ectothermic. They have to be out of the water for a period of time in order to absorb all of that lovely sunshine to keep themselves warm. Now we are going to be raining today. But first we're going to be passing by on the right hand side this funny looking tree here. It's a baobab tree. Baobabs look like they have their roots sticking out, but that's actually its branches. They are leafless 9 to 10 months out of the year. They have the ability to store water in their trunks during times of drought. Animals like elephants might come up to that tree, dig their tusks in a little bit, accessing that stored water, giving the tree the name, the Tree of Life. Now coming down this Savannah overlook here, we're going to get a first view of the animals we might see. Out in front of me, I do see some Nkoli cattle. Nkoli cattle are those cattle moving with those large horns on their head, as well as I see some giraffes off in the distance grazing. Now Nkoli cattle, also known as Watusi cattle, after the tribe that domesticated them. Their horns might look quite heavy, but they're actually almost hollow. They have a honeycomb-like structure on the inside that actually works in dispersing the blood in their veins to keep themselves cool. Now we are going to be passing by an animal here on the left-hand side. See if we can spot. I can see them up and moving around here. These are going to be some painted dogs. Now they aren't dogs like maybe dogs that you have at home. And we're not going to whistle, friends. No noises, please. They do travel in packs. They are great hunters. They have a catch rate of up to 90%. There is an animal on the left-hand side over my left-hand shoulder, way far in the back corner there. Those are some sable antelope with those large horns on their head. We are passing by a group of wildebeest. Now wildebeest travel in migratory herds normally. Every year they'll travel about 1,000 miles following the rains in Africa. And they will be found in migratory herds of up to 1.5 million. Yes, millions. Millions of wildebeest traveling together. And they kick up so much dust that you can actually see it from space. When a wildebeest is born, it has to be up and running within the first 15 minutes, or it'll get left behind from the rest of the herd traveling. Now we are going to get our first view of some giraffe up ahead. Giraffes are the tallest animals in the world. They reach heights of up to 20 feet. When a giraffe is born, it's already 6 feet tall. Now, like I mentioned, the okapis and the giraffes are related because they have those long tongues that they use to reach out and grab vegetation off of the trees. Giraffes do graze for 20 hours out of the day and only rest for about 30 minutes. Now it looks like there is a giraffe up ahead there that might be on the way to cross the road. They do have the right of way, so we're going to get a good view of these giraffes as I go slowly, which means slowly past these giraffes. But the giraffe we have here are Maasai giraffes. That's because of the region in which they were found. But they also have a irregular pattern of spots on their coats, which is also identifiable for Maasai giraffe. If we were to put two of these Maasai giraffes side by side, giraffes side by side, they would all look different. They all have a unique pattern, just like our fingerprints. Look at this one. Now up ahead we are going to get a good view of a giraffe using its tongue there to reach out and grab some leaves off of the trees. their long necks are very helpful in doing that. Now we are going to be heading deeper into the savannah. We are not out of it yet. I do see the elephant up in front of me. It's behind some trees. We might go around the corner here and see it. They're going to be African elephants. African elephants do travel in groups known as herds, typically, but there are different types of herds. Sometimes you might find just one by itself, that's an alpha male. Sometimes they are a few together, which could be juvenile male elephants. These ones look like they could be a couple of a mom and maybe a younger elephant there, those two together. It's a great view of them. Now, elephants do eat 300 pounds of food a day. Lots of food that they like to eat. We also might see elephants flapping their ears, which is a way that they help cool themselves down. When elephants slap their ears, it can lower their body temperature about 15 degrees. A place where elephants will pass by, and they will actually eat the clay. You can see some tusk marks there. They will eat the clay in the same way that you might take a multivitamin every day. Now I do see some elephants up ahead on the left-hand side here. This elephant yard. Now another thing you might see elephants do is actually take dirt or mud and cover their bodies in it, and they do that as a way to protect themselves from the sun. Elephants have sensitive skin just like we do. So we are coming up to some birds here out on the island. These are greater flamingos. Now greater flamingos are the lightest pink colored flamingos. And they get that pink coloring from their diet, which primarily consists of brine shrimp, which has something in it there that are more gray, fluffy looking flamingos. Those are juveniles. They don't get that full pink coloring until they reach adulthood. But a group of flamingos is going to be known as a flamboyance. A flamboyance of flamingos. They look like they might cross here. We'll see what they decide to do. But ostrich are the world's largest birds. Now, they can't fly, but they have those large wings that actually help in steering them.
They're so
When ostriches run, they can reach speeds of up to 40 miles per hour. Never get too close to an. Now, I do see an animal up and moving around this corner here on the left-hand side. There are some cheetahs. Now, cheetahs are the fastest land animal. They travel from speeds of 0 to 6. But those cheetahs are active during the day and at night. They are pretty successful hunters. Now they have non-retractable claws, which help them to grip into the ground to help them reach those speeds. We are going to be coming up right ahead of the truck here. There is a copy. A copy is a place we might find some big cats like lions out resting. Lions do rest for 6. We will also get a better view of that rhino, those white rhinos. Now, white rhinos are very large. They weigh 4,000 to 5,000 pounds. They travel in groups known as crashes.
He's right there. Oh my god.
They are poached as well for their horns, but not as endangered as black rhinos. We're just going to go slowly past this rhino here. Now, white rhinos aren't actually white, they are gray, but they get that name after the Afrikaans word "vide," which means, my friends, please sit. Thank you. Means wide, vide meaning wide. Now, the animal behind that one is a bontebok. Bonteboks, I love to talk about. They're one of my favorite animals because they were extremely endangered. There was only about 17 bonteboks left in the world until a farmer recognized that, put a fence around the remaining bonteboks, saving the species as a whole here, so they could still be resting. We are going to be passing by where we might find some warthogs in these burrows. There is one there in that burrow, way down there. Now, warthogs have razor sharp tusks that they help to protect themselves. When they go into those burrows, they back in backwards to keep those tusks pointing front and ready to defend themselves from anything that may try to eat them. They're on the ground there on the right hand side. Those are some ostrich eggs. Ostrich eggs are extremely strong, much stronger than an average chicken egg. They really don't care. If I were to stand on top of those ostrich eggs, they would not break. That's how strong they are. Now we are going to be headed out of the savannah, but I do see a warden's post up ahead, and it looks like the warden decided to adopt some pretty adorable Nigerian dwarf goats. Now, while these goats are very adorable, they also serve a greater purpose at maintaining the landscape. They'll eat unwanted vines, weeds, things that other animals can't as easily graze. And in return for the free food and protection, the goats will provide their milk, which can be made into products to then be sold out there in Animal Kingdom. If you haven't gotten a chance, we have 2 animal trails. We have one in Africa, the Gorilla Falls Walking Trail, as well as one in Asia, the Maharaja Jungla Trek.